My name is Hannah, and this is my no-buy year. Happy New Year's Eve, you guys. I'm wearing my shiny red lip, my glittery smoky eye, my plunging neckline, and my jewels for you, because this video is going up on December 31st, the last day of my no-buy year. However, I feel a little bit silly because I'm actually filming this quite early. It is December 17th today, so really not much further than halfway through the month of December, and I'm filming the December check-in. But I'm leaving to go home to North Carolina to be with my family in just a day and a half on the 19th. And then when I come back from being with my family, I'm going to be at home for just less than 12 hours, and we're gonna turn around and drive down to San Diego for a New Year's Tango Festival. So I'm not gonna be home at all, really, except for that brief window until the new year. And so I'm having to film everything that's going up during the last 2 weeks of December. So partly for that reason, this video isn't going to be a comprehensive finale of my no-buy year, even though it's the video that's going up on the last day. I am going to be reflecting on the year in bits and pieces in this video. It's just going to be a normal rambly check-in like I always do, but it's not going to be like a rundown or an organized presentation of my feelings about my no-buy year and the way that my no-buy year has changed me. I actually am trying to organize that information, and I'm actually spreading it out over a bunch of different videos that are appearing on my channel over the course of December, and that will actually extend into January. So some of them are the how my no-buy year changed X videos, and then I've got my no-buy year by the numbers and some other videos. Pretty much all of the content that I'm producing during December of this year and January of next year is related to kind of wrapping up and reflecting on my no-buy year. I think I'm definitely not equipped right now because of time constraints to film a comprehensive finale video, but I also feel like I might not be equipped mentally and emotionally at this point to do that. I think I'm going to have to get partway into 2019, get a little bit of distance and do some more thinking before I can actually report back about all of the ways in which my no-buy year has changed me, because I think that there are things that I won't know until after it ends. So just like usual, I have kind of a bullet point list of random thoughts about the month of December that I've had so far that I'm going to extemporize on. It's just my December check-in, but it has been a month during which I've been thinking about the no-buy year in its entirety. So a lot of my bullet points actually do have to do with that. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. So I do have it down here to talk about money for a second. I've been getting a lot of questions over the past month about finances specifically, people asking things like, exactly how much did you save? Or I think the nature of one of the questions that I've seen a lot in the comments has been, what are you doing with all your extra money that you saved? And I think it might be coming up partly because they're new subscribers. Like, I've been gaining more subscribers. Some of those people haven't gone back. Some of you guys, sorry, some of you guys haven't gone back and watched old videos, and nor do you need to, but I'm forgetting that there are new people coming to my channel every day, and there are things about my life and about my situation that people don't know and that I'm just kind of eliding over when I talk about the no-buy year. So the short answer to that question, and it's actually something I've been marveling about during the month of December because it is the final month of the year, the short answer to that question is that I don't have any extra money. So I actually am breaking even. I'm at the end of my no-buy year, and what I did do was to get myself out of credit card debt, but I haven't actually been able to save any money. I saved myself from going further into credit card debt. And this is specifically because of the way that I'm choosing to live my life right now. I run a small business so that I can have time to work on my writing. So I spend half of every day writing, working on my manuscripts. I have a manuscript of nonfiction essays and a manuscript of poems, and I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to publish those manuscripts and that they can turn into a career that will make money. Right now, I consider that writing work to be my main career, but right now I'm not making money from that career. So I'm in this interesting position where I'm spending most of my passion and a lot of my time on a career that currently isn't paying me. And in order to have time to do that, I'm continuing to run this small business that I run with my partner, Joe. And that business is doing well enough to make sure that we stay fed and that we keep a roof over our heads, but it doesn't make us much more money than that. And we're okay with that because we're both writers, and writing is the main work that we're doing. So I spend a lot of time on my writing and I spend a lot of time on my YouTube channel, and neither one of those kinds of work makes me much of a profit. Sometimes I sell an essay, sometimes I sell a poem to a magazine, but those are not steady incomes. So my one job, the job that makes me my income, is this small business. And it's just hard to run a small business in a big city. And we are doing really well in that we are able to stay fed, but there's nothing left at the end of the month. Just buying food and paying rent, there's really nothing left. And that's part of why I had to do this year when I did. Now, it might be worth actually mentioning that my spending habits, the habits with which I entered the year, the habits that I was addressing with this project, developed during a time when I had a little bit more disposable income. Because when I was a graduate student, I was receiving a stipend. I was in graduate school on a full scholarship, and the scholarship included a stipend. So when we lived in Michigan for 3 years before we moved to LA over a year ago, we just had a little bit more comfortable of a lifestyle because we lived in a much less expensive place, and I had this stipend from school and we were still running our business, so we were still making a profit from our business. So we're basically in severely reduced circumstances right now. I am in severely reduced circumstances compared to what kind of disposable income I had when my shopping habit got really, really bad. I hope that helps clear some questions up for you guys about kind of how my shopping habit got so bad, but without me going so deeply into debt that I couldn't get out of it, given that right now I actually don't have any disposable income, if that makes sense. It was because things used to be a certain way, I developed this habit, and now things are a different way, and I have absolutely had to do something to reverse that habit, because I would have potentially gone intractably into credit card debt this year, because this was kind of like the first full year that things were the way that they are this year. And I also want to make it clear that this life is by choice. We're doing it on purpose. I have a master's degree. I could get a different job. I could get a higher paying job. I could get a job that would pay me enough so that I could buy all the Natasha Denona palettes that I want. But that's not the life I want, because I'm a writer and I want to spend as much time as possible while I'm here on this earth writing. So we're living the way we are so that we can pursue our artistic goals. And if that means that I had to make a massive lifestyle shift like the one that I made this year with my no-buy, that's okay with me. I have a note here that says my life has completely changed, which is true. And I've been thinking about that a lot this month. Sometimes the new normal just seems so normal that it's hard for me to remember what it was like before. But when I sit myself down and make an effort to remember, I realize that my life has completely changed, both my behavior and my inner life, my spiritual life. However, one of the things I wanted to mention in this check-in is that I still feel like I have work to do when it comes to my spiritual satisfaction. I've been watching some of my check-ins this month. I've gone back and watched some of my check-ins, which I never do. I never go back and watch my old videos. But because it's the last month of the year, I've been doing it. And I feel like watching my own check-ins, I've gotten a glimpse of a wise and healthier Hannah that my no-buy year has indicated that I might now have the ability to become. But I don't feel like I actually am that person yet. I'm not that person yet. And I feel like I still have more work to do. I feel like I still need to implement what I've learned from myself during my no-buy year and grow from here. And that makes it extra important to me that I don't fall back into my old habits after my no-buy year is over. I think spiritually, in terms of my inner life, my inner calm, my inner mind, I maybe was expecting to be further along at this point than I am now. Right now it's the holidays, I'm super busy, I'm stressed, there's all this chatter going on in my head, I'm anxious, I've been having nightmares. I don't feel as developed as I was expecting to be at the end of my no-buy year. My behavior has changed dramatically, and the person that is now capable of behaving in a new way and wants to behave in a new way, that is dramatic. That's very different. But there's something else that I want to change. There's another way in which I want to grow. And what I'm hoping is that it's just going to take some time for the fallout of the no-buy year to kind of settle down, and that those changes are kind of just starting. I think what I'm trying to say is now, on the last day of my no-buy year when you're watching this, I mean now on the 17th of December, but I'm assuming I'll still feel the same way in a week or two. Right now, I don't feel like, okay, I'm done now. What I feel like is, okay, I'm ready to start now. I feel like I'm ready to start changing myself into the person that I want to be. I kind of feel like the path was blocked before. The path was confused by my shopping problem. And I feel now like the path is clear, relatively clear, but I still have to do the work of getting onto the path, and then I have to actually walk the path. And what I'm talking about is walking the path towards a happier and calmer and more stable inner life. The parts of my journey during which I talked about being okay with the ups and downs of life and not being hard on myself when things don't go perfectly, those kinds of things, like really, really deep entrenched behaviors of the mind and of the self that are related to the shopping addiction, but that aren't really external and that don't manifest in a really obvious way. I feel like I'm kind of working from the outside in, and now a lot of the outside stuff has been taken care of by the no-buy year. I'm ready to dive in. I'm at the beginning of something. I hope this isn't getting too woo-woo or too abstract for you. I hope it makes sense. I will do more thinking about it and hopefully more sharing about this next year. And if it isn't clear now, and in some ways it isn't totally clear to me, hopefully it will become clearer to us all through the beginning of 2019. Okay, so another big thing to me, a big thing in my life that happened this month was the making of that video about my skincare routine. The video that's called How My No-Buy Year Changed My Skincare Routine. The content of that video, when I compiled it, shocked me. I really have perspective now that I didn't have before about how YouTube normalizes spending like a rich lady in the name of self-care, even when you aren't a rich lady. I can't believe I let that happen to me, and I can't believe that I didn't really find out about it until this month, December of my no-buy year. You can take really good care of yourself without mortgaging your future. And in fact, spending $2,500 on skincare a year at a stage of life when you barely have any extra money each month isn't self-care, it's self-destruction. And that is what I was doing. I am, as the kids are saying, shook. I am absolutely shook by the fact that the numbers revealed what they did to me. And I'm so, so glad that I added up all those numbers and made that video. Although as of this filming, I haven't yet posted it. So I don't know what the response will be, but just for myself, just having those numbers and having that information is absolutely one of the best things to have come out of my no-buy year. And it came out of December. Which reminds me, talking of having not posted that video yet and not being sure what the response will be, that the response to my videos in December has been awesome. This is like another thing that's kind of happened to me this month. I've gotten to the point where I can barely keep up with the comments, and I feel like I've been doing a lot of exposing of myself, not like the cleavage I almost just showed you earlier, but I feel like I've had to dig even deeper this month and be really honest, and I've had to say some things on here that are uncomfortable for me to share because I'm trying to wrap up the year. I'm trying to reconcile everything that has happened. I've been having to talk about money and numbers, and it's awkward, it's embarrassing, it's uncomfortable, but it's also necessary, and I know what I'm doing here and I know why, and it's been necessary. But it's been wonderful because the response has been so awesome. You guys have just been amazing, and I really appreciate all of the comments, and I appreciate each and every one of you who has said that you're inspired and shared that you're doing a no buy or a low buy, or even just that you're inspired to change your habits. I feel like in order to be okay with the level of vulnerability that December has required of me, that level of response was what I didn't know I needed, but it was the thing that made it okay. It was the thing that made it all a positive experience. And so I really, really thank you. I would have done it anyway, but it wouldn't have felt as right or as good. It wouldn't have had as much clarity about my decisions if it hadn't been for you and your response. I must say though that at the same time, I have had to develop a thick skin this month at kind of a rapid rate of speed. I have had to develop an increasingly thicker skin with every month that has passed here on YouTube, because the more love you get, the more hate you get, the more attention you get, the more hate you get. And I do want my channel to grow. I am excited that it's growing, but the sort of exponential spurt of growth that happened over the past month has also required me to really layer on like a double, triple thick skin faster than I think is comfortable and possible. I'm bringing it up because it's actually been a significant aspect of the month for me. It's something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about, how to handle the weird feelings that come with super mean comments from people who are really trying to be hurtful. I've had to set aside extra time and energy this month to develop strategies for not letting that hate get to me. I'm having to learn how to become a person who isn't as sensitive as the person that I used to be, which is weird. And it is part of being a public persona. It's part of being on a platform like this. And I can't say that I didn't expect it. So I'm not mad at it, I guess, but I think it's worth mentioning in this check-in because it just kind of came hard for me this month, and it's just been part of my experience in December. It's been part of the experience of my final month of my first year of being on YouTube, which is really interesting. Which reminds me, I can't reflect on the year, and I have been reflecting on the year this month, without reflecting on it as having been my first year on YouTube. I feel like my new identity as a creator on this platform has defined my year and changed my life almost as much as my actual no buy project. Being on YouTube is really challenging and strange, but it's also very rewarding. And I have learned a lot about myself this year because of the process of learning how to make these videos. Watching myself talk, editing my own speech, seeing how my makeup looks on camera, seeing how my face looks without makeup on camera. As a content creator on this platform, my face and voice and my makeup skills, I guess, in this community, and my speech patterns, those are my tools. Those are the tools that I use, my artistic tools that I use to make this content. I feel like this year I've started getting to know those tools, and during the second half of the year, I've kind of gotten better at using those tools. I'm more comfortable in front of the camera. Looking back at the old videos, I can really see that. I've also become better at talking in a way that is conducive to fluid editing, and I've also become a lot better at editing. I essentially taught myself a new skill through trial and error, but because of the nature of this platform, I was publicizing all of my trials and all of my errors along the way, which is a bit tough, but it's nothing if not character building, and I do feel like it built a little character. I've also learned a lot from the way that people have responded to me on this platform. I don't know really how to talk about this, but I'll try. I don't know how to talk about this, Hannah said, for the first time ever. I think what I want to say is that I don't always go over very well with people in real life. I think that because I am a talker and I'm opinionated, and because I talk the way I talk, and because I have a relatively strong personality, and because I make myself a part of the conversation, and I'm also tall, and I also like to wear sometimes like annoyingly editorial things. I also, I think, can rub certain men the wrong way. I think that certain men who aren't able to sexualize me, either because I already have a partner, or because I am so tall, or because I am so loud, or whatever it is, because of my personality, or because I'm talking circles around them sometimes, whatever it is, sometimes I get a really bad vibe from people in social situations, and sometimes in group situations too. And maybe this is true of everyone. I'm feeling a little bit at sea here with trying to explain what I mean. The long and short of it is that I have never really considered myself a likable or watchable person. I have always felt like I'm a little bit too much as a woman, taking up too much space, taking up too much airtime, too annoyingly articulate. I've never thought of myself as someone who has a pleasant voice, for example. I have just always worried that I'm too much. And this might be true. Oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna cry. Hannah, get it together. This might be true for a lot of women. I'm curious actually if anybody out there identifies with this. It might just be my personality type, or the type of the way that I kind of enact my role as a woman in the world. I have met other women who feel this way. Not all women feel this way, obviously, but I think maybe there's a certain kind of brain, a certain kind of artistic intellect that when it is born into a woman's body comes up against this kind of social discomfort that I've come up against just by trying to be my full self, just by trying to do my work in the world. And for that reason, because of that history, because of the way that my life has been, I did not think that I would do well on YouTube. I did not think that people would want to watch me. And I really wanted to start a channel. I wanted to share my project. I was hoping that a handful of other women out there might be able to connect with my issues and maybe grow with me, or cheerlead for me, or just follow me through the year. And all I was hoping was to get through my no-buy year and do a little documentation along the way. So I decided to do it, even though I was pretty sure that I was a harsh, annoying, over-intellectual, uncharismatic conversationalist, and that I was pretty sure that it would take a super special person to enjoy watching me. I decided to do it anyway. And the responses from you guys, the sweet, loving comments, your excitement about my work up here has made me think that I might have more to offer than I realized. And that has motivated me to want to keep offering more. I think what I'm trying to say is that starting YouTube is kind of an emotional risk. And what I've been thinking a lot about this month, and what I've been reflecting on, is that it's a risk that has paid off for me in an emotional way, in terms of my ability, again, to do my work in the world, which is what I care about more than anything. And I have you all to thank for that. I have your sweetness and your generosity with your time, the time you spend watching me, and the time that you spend connecting with me in the comments and sending me messages and sharing me with your friends. My life has changed irreversibly because of this year in all of these ways. And even if YouTube were to end tomorrow and I did not continue to do my work on this platform, my ability to move through the world as a person who has work and who is dedicated to making meaning out of this jumbled situation, this world, this life, I am now better equipped to do that. I am now better at my work because of you and because of being connected with you through this project this year. And I think that is it. That is most of what I have on my bullet point list, and that is most of what I have been stewing over, mulling over during the month of December so far. Again, a lot of my sort of fully processed feelings and information about my no-buy wasn't contained in this video. This was just a classic check-in, just me talking to you. But I am getting that information together. I'm slowly packaging that information and putting it onto my channel piece by piece. And of course, most of you have already seen some of that, and you can expect that kind of content to continue on through the month of January, along with my announcement about my new project, which will be up tomorrow morning on January 1st. So definitely check back tomorrow morning to find out what kind of year 2019 will be, because this year, 2018, my no-buy year, is coming now to a close. I did it. And to those of you who have been here either for most of the year or just part of the year, or who just started watching, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. You have been amazing, and your support has meant the absolute world to me during the course of this year, this bizarre project that I've been doing. I'm proud of myself, I'm proud of you, and I'm excited for us, and I'm excited for what 2019 will bring for me and for those of you who are deciding to make radical lifestyle change for yourself in the year of 2019. I hope you have a beautiful New Year's Eve. And I hope that you'll remember to take extra good care of yourself this year so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.